Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Intrigue Magazine's YouTube channel. And today I have the honor, that's the best way that I could say it, the pure honor of talking to YahZarah, a sister who is not just a beautiful queen in her own right, but such a talented and well-storied recording artist. Welcome to the platform, sister. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. I'm going to get right into it. Your name is so unique, and I know that you have Ghanaian background from West Africa, but I'm wondering, does that have any influence on your professional name?
Oh, absolutely. My mother is Black Indigenous from brought up Pennsylvania. My father is Ghanaian from Kumasi. And we also have ties to the house of Minsa through my grandmother. So uh, a family legend is that Yasantiwa may be in fact one of my great ancestors. So that's some folklore behind it. But YahZarah is kind of like a tribute to my maternal and fraternal grandmothers. So Yah is after my grandmother in Ghana, West Africa, who passed away at 109. I'm sorry, 103. Helped raise 29 children, 26 of which were girls. And my father was the only surviving male heir out of three boys. So um, she was a farmer until her passing. You know, she called my father up and was like, "Hey, I'm about to pass away. I need pictures of my grandchildren. I need sounds of their voices." And just a woman who could do that, who could rise from, second wife to first by virtue of a birth and then farm until her death. I wanted to channel that. And then my grandmother, Irene Sarah Newman, who is from DC by way of Pennsylvania, at Philly, in fact. Was a child prodigy pianist and had to give that up when she got pregnant with my mother.
Hmm.
So Zara is the flip of Sarah. And so that means blossom. YahZarah, Queen Mother, blossoms. I'm constantly trying to challenge myself to continue to evolve even when afraid. And at the time when I picked that name, I needed something to channel the version of me I really wanted to be through. So YahZarah is that. That's my fuel. And that's
Mm.
because of
Well,
them.
thank you so much for that explanation and an awesome definition of your stage name. Your lineage is amazing. And that definitely comes out through your music. Let's get into your music. First of all, well, no, let's talk about you and your background because people want to know where you're from and where your ties are in terms of where you grew up, etc. So give us a background on who you are and where you come from.
It's interesting that you ask. And now, as a more mature woman, I'll be 48 years old this month.
Hard to
And
tell.
thank you, thank you. Some people tell me I would have to or need to hide that, but I really feel like we need to redesign our life around telling people if you're aging, it means you're alive. Celebrate
Thank you.
each and every
Yes.
birthday. So, and I mean, I work to be like this. So I'm gonna tell people and I'm gonna
I
brag
know
on
that's
it.
right.
I'm like,
Let them know.
yes, but for me, and I forgot your question over here bragging. Please give it to
Oh, no, no,
me.
no. We want to know where you're from. That's where this
Yes,
conversation
where
was
I'm from, who
yeah,
I'm
where you're
repping.
from.
Yes,
Yes.
who I am and who I'm repping.
Yes.
Uh, Again, I'm a gumbo. I tell people that I'm a gumbo. I'm from a number of places. Conceived in Ghana, West Africa, born in Washington, D.C., a proud Ghanaian American.
Mm.
Spent 4 years in Germany as a child, growing up there, learning the language, dancing,
Wow.
ballet. I thought I was going to be a ballet dancer when I returned to the U.S. And my mother started going to church, and I fell in love with gospel music and how I saw us as a people get through those songs that got us by. And I wanted to be a part of that. I understood I'm so glad I discovered that at church and not someplace else. So in the moments as an independent artist when no one's validating what I
Right.
do, I have a really secure emotional and spiritual memory that I'm here for purpose that's beyond myself, and that it makes room for itself because I continue to do it and I have to. So I went to Duke Ellington School of Performing Arts. My very first performance was in the Kennedy Center at 10 years old. Some
Wow.
people may know me from being with Erica Badu for 7 years, arranging on Mama's Gun, touring with her, being with Lenny Kravitz, Madonna, or my own projects, The Ballad of
Hmm.
Miss Purple St. James, Hear Me, and The Ceremony most recently, as well as my EP, The Prelude. And
Well,
I've been considered for a Grammy in 6 categories. I forgot
you,
to say that. And I just got a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. So that is who I am. And I'm Beverly
so
Williams' only daughter.
so now you done took my job, took my whole job because I had all these questions. I'm just kidding with you, I'm just kidding with you, sister.
That's
Amazing,
okay.
amazing, such an amazing story.
Thank you.
It definitely builds up to the stage where we're at now in the
Mhm.
conversation, where I want to talk about the fact that you're a genre-defying artist. Like, they always want to put recording artists in a box, neo soul
Mhm.
or funk or rock or this or that. And you seem to have accomplished something that very few real soulful artists can do, which is, basically transcend the genre box. What are your thoughts about that, and how have you been able to kind of, you know, be a plethora of different sounds within one sound?
I think I've had some really incredible boot camps, and I have to attribute it to my parents. Both of my parents were DJs. My mother was a DJ at American University, and she had a radio show called Spirits Unknown, and she interviewed Minnie Riperton. And so there was music in my home. My mother almost named me Minnie. My mother's a
Wow.
singer. She would have been Peaches, but she wasn't into her. So
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
so I was in this
Wow.
household full of music. My grandmother again was a prodigy pianist. My grandfather was a music teacher. My uncle, only maybe a year or two older than me, also started playing piano when he was 3. And again, just something about that feeling of seeing what my voice could do to change a life brought me into this space well beyond the accolades.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's
Mhm.
let's let's talk about your history. You touched upon your work with one of the queens of neo soul, in my opinion, Miss Erykah Badu,
Yeah.
who's her imprint has left such a delicious taste in the mouths of those of us who really, really love soulful music and music with messages. What was it like working with her, and how did that relationship originate?
I think that if you're lucky and you're in a space where you're trying to figure out who you are and where you're going, you get to meet really great mirrors of
Mm,
that trajectory. And because it was so serendipitous how I ended up with Erica, where I was going to Duke Ellington School of Performing Arts, that and I owe them everything that I am. My greatest beginnings happened in a practice room with a guy named Terrence Lee Jones, who had 2 students at Howard, who came in looking for someone to replace a singer in their group named Cy Smith. If you don't know who she is, you should find out who she is. You should download her music today. And so, and she's an incredible artist and legacy artist in her own right. They came in. I wasn't shy enough. I wasn't so shy that I wouldn't at least audition. I ended up in a group with them. Eugene Young ends up going to Texas. He sings background for Erica Badu. He calls me. I had no money to get there. My mother and I emptied out the family accounts and savings, put me on a value jet flight, and I ended up with Erica. I learned three
mm,
songs. I'm sorry, I learned 17 songs in 3 days and ended up on tour with her after that for 7 years. And then from there, I put out my first project, Hear Me, and then um, some projects with the Foreign Exchange. I went to college with them, Ninth Wonder, Fonte Coleman, Darian Brockington. We all went to North Carolina Central University. And so
wow.
I got that gig with Erica while I was still in college. So I had this really sobering, beautiful normalcy of being on not just any college campus, but a Black college campus, and then being on tour with her. So I had these great mentors, and I don't think I had an opportunity to really realize the gravity,
Exactly. I was going to
you
ask you
know,
that.
the gravity.
Yeah.
My first tour was the Lilith Fair, and I was on the bus with Eugene Young, Poogie Bell, Keys Armstrong on keys, um, and on drums, Questlove,
Wow.
whose hair I used to cornrow on the bus. I hadn't
Okay.
even heard of the Roots.
Wow. So
I
let
just
me
thought he
ask
was
you.
dope.
Let me ask you this. Your first. I understand that with all of that going on, you're not able to really embrace the gravity of it at the time.
Mhm.
But what was your first rehearsal with Erica Badu like? Well, the first time you walked into the rehearsal room or hall and you saw Miss Badu sitting there ready to do her thing, and you've rehearsed now, but this is your first time not on stage in front of an audience, but this is your first time in the room with her, actually
Right.
ready to go ahead and rehearse. Bring us back to that moment.
Uh, I think for me, it was like Luke Skywalker standing in front of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Mm,
And what do you say when you're sitting in front of your master, a master of ceremonies that you want to be like? And they they say to you, sing anything. And I sung Gap Band's You by my side will
mm.
conquer the world. You'll be my guiding light. And then I get to the hook, you are my high. And she starts singing background for me.
Okay. Wow.
I, I don't think that I understood the
Mm,
gravity of that moment. I don't think
right.
she understood the gravity of that moment any more than I do when I'm before young singers that emulate my voice or who studied me or who, you know, were inspired by the work or the journey. And she asked me what my name was, and I was so nervous that I blurted out a family nickname that was very intimate that I will not say here.
Okay.
And that nickname followed me for
For the
at least
tour?
4 out of the 7 years that I was on tour.
Wow. Wow.
So I'm sure
Amazing.
there's a recording somewhere where you will hear her calling me that.
Wow.
And it was such a beautiful space to be in. And then you had Ndombi Gilbert, who was there at the time, and China
Mm,
Black, who came later, Eugene Young, who was singing background at the time. I've been there long enough to sing background for Erica while Bilal Oliver was singing background for Erica.
amazing.
And,
Wow.
and he and I both were in college at the time and helping each other with homework on the road.
What was,
And
go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
no, it's only now, again, I say, as I watch my own 15-year-old son have these incredible experiences,
Hmm.
that I recognize that when you're back in it, when you're in it at the moment, you don't realize that you're in the middle of history. I was working with the Soulquarians. There are people who think of me as one. I've never perceived myself or pronounced that, but to be a part of something so incredible that people have tuned into it as a season. They gave it a name and they
Right.
they add you as part of that. And you were just a kid having fun with other kids with a dream who just so happened to become masters and lifetime students. Robert Glasper used to be my music director.
So, how does touring with an incredible artist like Erica uh influence how you perform today?
She was never afraid to continue to reinvent herself and to try what was in her head. I've always felt a kindred in her for that because I've always been the kid that they just gonna either you're gonna support me or you're gonna be angry while you watch me get it done.
I know that's right.
It was those moments that kind of brought out the best YahZarah, that I've had very good people in my life who validated God's gifting in me so that I wouldn't be afraid of opening up every creative door.
Mm. So, listen, a couple of days ago, well, I'm not sure when this will air, but a couple of days ago from the time that we're having this discussion, um, we celebrated and we honored a true legacy artist, a legend, an icon, a person whose musicianship is era defining. Of course, I'm talking about the brother from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Prince himself.
Yes,
I
sir.
am a huge Prince fan. The first time I went to a Prince concert in Boston, I was too young to be in a Prince concert in Boston, but my mother couldn't find a babysitter, so she took me anyway.
She
I
wasn't
should
gonna
have
miss
been
out.
I should have been listening to these three Purple Rain songs. Think about it. But I was there. You got
Well, at
to,
least I don't feel so bad anymore because I was 5 years old when I saw Purple Rain,
oh
and I
wow.
definitely was not supposed to. I could say every line.
Yeah.
I want to see
Well,
some asses wiggling. I need some
yeah, yeah.
perfection at
I,
5, and so
so what was it like for you? Because this is where we're going with this conversation. Um, Not only did you get to, have a an alliance with Prince, he admired your work.
Mm.
That take a moment. I know you might need a moment to absorb that, but I mean,
I never, truth is, I never knew that for sure, but I was told by members of his band who would come to see my shows. It was definitely clear in the fact that I never got pulled down. Um,
yeah.
and right after I got pregnant with my son, I actually had an opportunity to sing background with him, but I was about to have my baby. So to say that he means so much to me, and it's the spirit of who he was. His music, obviously, I mean, I am, as a performing arts kid who studied music but is mostly driven by her soul and writes what she feels, but also some people think I straddle the sacred and the profane. But really, we're just church kids who are free and
Mm,
understand that this body is made for moving, and it
hmm.
shouldn't, I'm not ashamed of my body.
Right.
But I think of myself as doing God's work from an unfamiliar space to some to find him, and he was too.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
he's a Gemini, and I'm a cusper. I'm a Cancer on the cusp of Gemini, and I
Hmm.
just understand him. I'm a blurred. I was a bully kid. I get what it's like to feel misunderstood, and for you to dig into the thing where you hear that you're doing great, you know. Um, I loved the man behind the music, knowing that
That's
he
right.
had these familial demons he was killing through his art. That's a human story. And I appreciated that. I love a good underdog story. Like, I don't think we think of Prince as that, but he definitely struggled to be understood the entirety of his life while doing really impactful work.
Absolutely.
Really
Absolutely.
impactful work. And I love him. I love that there's opera there. I love that there's gospel there. I love that there's rock and roll. I love that there's gospel. And I love that he understands that all of those things are children of the church. He was a Pentecostal. And when you listen to like Let's Go Crazy, that's offering.
Right.
Mhm.
That
He just
is.
speaks
That
to me.
is. That
Right.
is.
He speaks to
That
the
is.
he's so black. Like the fact
Absolutely.
that anybody ever said that he wasn't black enough, or that Whitney wasn't black enough, or he was constantly searching for that understanding. Because I met some folks who like I didn't really like Prince. It sounded like it was white music to me. You know, um,
Then they weren't listening. Anybody that said that just wasn't listening.
yeah, it's weird to me, and there's no such thing as white music because we discovered half of the world's
Right.
instruments were created by Africans, and let's not talk
Exactly.
about the scale, atonal harmony, rock and roll,
And everything
gospel,
else, pretty
folk.
much. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question
yeah.
because some of my favorite artists, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince, just a long list. Their stories, some of their most prolific musical stories, I should say,
Mhm,
came from pain, came from struggle, came from experience, right? And
mhm,
I know that your music definitely is very autobiographical. A lot of the
mhm.
songs that you've performed tell your story. What are some of the most personal songs that you've put out, and what were the stories behind them?
I think that Starship is probably one of the most personal records I've ever made. I wrote it in 15 minutes. Shadow from the ballad,
Okay.
both of those records were on the Ballad of Miss Purple St. James. They were very personal. Again, I talk about being a bully kid in DC and colorism and being neurodivergent and having all these various things that have to do with who I'm supposed to be. Um, and what some people who look just like me say that I'm not. That's
Hmm.
a real,
Right.
you know,
That that yeah.
that's a lot to try to process. And so at some point I remember sitting there at the table, and this is after having a horrible label situation, and saying to myself, my whole life the music was the one thing I knew how to do well and succeed at, and here I am, I put my music in the hands of other people, and now I'm defenseless to protect the one thing that I had that was mine, that no one could take from me, which is my
Yeah.
freedom to sing the way I want to, and to be able to sing. And shortly before that, I lost my voice and could not sing for like 8 months, and had to go to
Wow.
speech pathologist, had to get all these things done, and it was because of overexerting myself with some people that I was working with who I was contractually obligated to be with, who
Hmm.
told me they owned me all the time. So when Steve McKee sent me this track, I was in that meantime that Inyala Van Zant talks about, that place in between where you want to go and the bottom.
Yes.
And I got the track, and I was recording for myself by then. A producer friend of mine named Apple Juice Kid said, "These dudes are lying to you, telling you that this is so difficult. I'm gonna teach you how to record for yourself." So I recorded Starship, I recorded Shadow, I did all the vocals, I did all the mixing at the time. And the first lyric came to me as if it was a voice telling me I was finally where I wanted to be.
Mm.
Finally found a place where I won't be mistreated. That place
Mm.
was that place was where I was at the moment. I was still kind of searching for that place that I realized that home is inside me. But that was the first step. And I think if you listen to my music, it's an anthology of how I found out that it wasn't the love I was chasing, the music or the
Yes.
adulation, but that place inside me where wherever I am, I'm content and my life is peaceful,
Mm.
peaceful mood, peaceful heart, peaceful soul. The Ceremony, I think, is one of those records that encapsulates that feeling for me. My most recent project, and records like Beautiful Ashes, where I talk about, you know, thanking everything that had ever happened to me that was bad. And I wrote that song over like 8 times because different versions of me had to rewrite it.
Yes,
Some
ma'am.
versions were still hurting when I was writing it. And when I finally got to that last version that says, I made this call because I think I do it, and I owe a debt of thanks to you for all the changes that I've been through.
Mm. The
And the
house
song,
is here.
yeah, the
The
house
house is here.
is here. This is
Right.
God's creation. This is it. This is God. This is me. How can I mistreat it for you or anyone else or anything or this
Mm.
music? And how can I let you tell me what my self-worth is simply because my time someplace has run out? My time here hasn't, just my time over there. And
Right.
maybe sometimes it's the unanswered prayers that are the best ones. And so when I thought about ashes, I was thinking about deforestation, where they'll burn down some parts of a forest to grow new forest. And at
Mm-hmm.
the time I'd had a divorce. It had an unceremonious departure from the foreign exchange. We were just very young, and group things happen in groups. I had a baby, a divorce, and a relocation all in less than a year. And that was the first song that I wrote for the ceremony. And I thought I was sick, believe it or not, ill, until I sung that first phrase. And
Wow.
that's how I know that what comes out of me is bigger than me, whether you want to call it God or that I'm a channel or, you know, I don't think I've ever really written a word on paper as often as I've sung it into the microphone, and different versions of that place I'm in or someone else is in that I'm channeling comes through in the music I make. I definitely know that this little 5'1" frame couldn't be responsible for all the good that comes out of it. So Beautiful Ashes, Legend is a song that I love because it was me speaking into the universe about myself, because it's been very difficult for me to say, hey, you some background from Madonna, you sourced fashion for Lenny Kravitz, you have been the inspiration for love songs, you've written songs for others,
Right.
you've built empires, and you're building your own, and you are entitled to one. And that's a Black woman's journey, because sometimes we're raised in spaces where people used to get lynched for speaking highly of themselves.
Right.
And so, as the hope and the dream of the slave and all 4 generations of the women in my family who wanted to be musicians but weren't, when I wrote Legend, I was writing that for anybody who was ever been told that they shouldn't or would not but did.
I know that's right. Wow.
I hope I'm
Um,
not stammering, but that's it.
no, yeah,
That's the
I mean,
story.
just talking to you is like receiving so much positive energy. It's amazing. That's why I'm usually a much more talkative person, let me tell you. But I'm just absorbing the knowledge, the beauty, the sincerity, the genuineness that's coming from you, simply because we're talking about, one of your most cherished contributions to this planet. One of them is your musicality. I want to circle back a little bit.
Mhm.
I have no notes. I'm just going back and forth off of the energy that we're exchanging here, and I'm loving it all. I mentioned earlier that some of my favorites: Prince, Janet Jackson, Stevie Wonder, I didn't name, Patrice
Mhm.
Rushen. It's a long list. I love artists with artistry, right? Let's talk about a person who's one of my favorites, who I kind of feel is more known for shenanigans than her business savvy and
Mm.
her creativity, and that's the sister, well, by extension, from Michigan, Madonna. What was it like
Mm.
working with her? Because I've heard so many stories about her business acuteness. We'll say it like that. And basically, she don't take no stuff. So, what was it
Mm.
like working with the legendary Madonna?
How do I answer that with a commitment to my truth?
Truthfully,
I will say this. Um, they tell you never meet your heroes, and I'll leave it at that.
I got you,
Um,
got you.
I have never seen a woman work so hard, and I honor that. Um,
Hmm.
I left there changed, and I'm glad I went. And no more to say about that than that.
Said a lot.
Yes,
Said
not
a lot.
everybody who loves us loves us.
I know that's right. Um, I'm not a musician. I've been in marketing and promotion for radio stations and record labels my entire adult life, since I got out of high school. I've met, and I'm 54 now. Like yourself, definitely proud of all 54 years of this.
That's right.
And again, the adult years were spent almost entirely in some shape or form in the music industry, from the behind the scenes uh, lens. And when you said don't meet your heroes, I'm not sure if our audience can feel that, but I felt all of that, and I will concur with you, sister. Um,
And I can still say she is a sensational artist, and there will never be another human being
right.
out there that will outwork her. We are all human beings in this experience
Hmm.
with what it is we have seen and heard. I have the benefit of four generations of women who loved me, who raised me, and who were with me my entire life.
That's right.
Not everybody's had their mother. Some people have grown up hard. Some people think they know Black people. Some people think they love Black people.
Hmm.
Some people like Black stuff.
Right.
And
A lot of people like black
oh,
stuff.
we're discovering it too.
Right.
Some of our own people who look like us would rather have Black stuff and not be Black themselves. So
Say a word.
when I think of my time there, I think of it as an incredible classroom because in those moments, and I'll say this much, if you should ever find yourself in the middle of something that is so trying, you wonder, can you push through? Remember what there is for you to learn about how you did it.
Hmm.
Do that. Be incredible the entire time. Be professional the entire time.
Yes.
And then don't let it make you quit.
Right.
Let it make you better. I have been with Lenny Kravitz, who I love. I have wouldn't say a word about him. Erica Badu is my big sister. I have grown up with her. We grew up
Hmm.
together. I've
Yeah.
learned about womanhood through her in so many ways. Um, Elvis Costello. Uh, I could go on and on about the people I enjoy. Raheem Devon. I have had a long, beautiful reputation, and I'm grateful for being in the company of real souls.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes you're not going to be everywhere you thought you were going to be as happy, but you do the
Right.
work and you show up. And I hope all of you showed for yourselves. And I say that because I know Black folks are in a season of sometimes showing up places where we're worked but unloved, but feel unloved. Do it anyway. Do it well.
I could listen to you speak all day. Excuse me. But I want to circle back
Mhm.
to a brother, also from DC, who I have so much respect for. Oh my God, he's such a phenomenal uh, musician, person. And I actually had the opportunity to have a discussion with him right here on this platform a couple of months back, Raheem Devon. What was it like? working with him, uh, musically speaking? Because I know you two have worked together on what was the name of the project that I'm thinking about? Don't tell me because I don't want you to have me cheat here. But the
Oh
tambourine
yes,
project.
are you
Yes,
single? Heck
yes,
yeah!
yes,
I should have pulled my little tambourine out. Um,
yes.
I'm enjoying. I was a kid raised evangelical Christian. I was not
Hmm.
allowed to go to the go-go, so he and I are in a curated go-go band together with hometown favorite Boosie Vegas, Sally Williams, and
Okay.
we're part of the front line. But we have an incredible band of some of the most talented musicians in DC,
Hmm.
and we rehearse every Tuesday. In fact, I might have to say goodbye soon because I'm going to be running late. And
Okay. Sorry.
oh no,
Not sorry.
please, not
Not sorry.
sorry. This is our
Not
time
sorry.
together. I'm so glad, and I'm glad you asked me about it. I've had the most fun ever. First off, Raheem and Devon and I have been working together probably the last 26 years,
Hmm.
on and off making music together. My projects, his projects. Um, it's been wonderful, and I consider him a musical brother. I think like Fonte, like Darian Brockington, like Robert. Sorry, like Raymond Angry. We complete each other's musical sentences. Like those
Hmm.
gentlemen, we complete each other's musical sentences. I think we're both love bugs, so when we write these love songs, it's so easy to do. And the records that we have for the Crank Crusaders, it's
Mm.
going to bring the fun back to the dance floor,
We
and their
need that.
originals written about love and having fun and being out there even in the midst of chaos and finding that joy, which we do. We know how to do that. And I believe that the Crank Crusaders will be the soundtrack for that joy. So yeah, Tambourine is out right now. You can download it today and use it as your summer soundtrack. I
Hmm.
definitely drop it low in Rock Creek Park.
I know that's right.
I use it as my
Northwest
getaway girl.
DC.
Yes, I'm an uptown girl. So yes,
Okay,
I do.
okay. Adams Morgan. I'm familiar. Before we let you
Tacoma
go,
Park, Boo, Kennedy Street. Listen to
before before I let you go though, I definitely
Mhm.
have to ask you
Yeah.
to talk about what it was like for you to perform one of my greatest, oh my God, I can't say enough about that woman and I miss her. Uh, Roberta Flack's music. What was it like for you to uh, do the tribute to her here in New York City?
Incredible experience. I hope to get to do that more often. And it was me really kind of workshopping it. This one woman show where I kind of talk about how I came of age in my household, listening to her music and how my mother's soundtrack for various phases of love and growth was Roberta Flack's music, and then she passed that lineage on to me,
Hmm.
not just through the songs she said, but how they made her feel, what they got her through. She was in college at DC Teachers when Roberta was going to Howard.
Mm.
So, and as an underclassman, she was a legend.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
record my mother gave me my first year of college, and I asked about it. Eugene Young actually recommended it to me, and I mentioned to my mom. So she went and bought a second pressing of Roberta Flack's Chapter Two, and she's a
Yeah,
very obscure record. If you don't have it, you just might not have it.
right.
And I took that record with me to college, and what is it? A breakdown just like a woman, and I cry just like a woman. I make love just like a woman, but I break up like a little girl. Changed my
Mm.
life.
Mm.
Changed my life.
And knowing that your voice is an instrument,
Thank you.
um, what do you say to the creator uh in regards to, the gift of voice? What do you say to the creator? Um, because I know that I usually I can tell right here, you and I are seriously spiritual beings. When you're alone and the moon is shining brightly over your beautiful Nubian smile, what do you say to the what do you say to the creator in regards to thank you for this instrument that you've given me and the experience that this instrument has provided.
Mm. Um, my thank you. What is my thank you? That's interesting you asked me that question, and hmm, how do I? Are you asking me how I thank the Creator? How do I take part in thanks, or when I'm just saying my prayers about how do I just sustain myself in it?
How do you thank him? How?
Um,
Because you've been
by
given
not
so much.
compromising it, by not compromising it, by staying self-encouraged when God's encouragement is all the encouragement I have. Um, and the independent music journey has been a decent struggle most recently, not because my fans don't want to see me, but because the digital age of social networking has been difficult for me, being such a person who comes from such authentic
Yes,
sharing of myself.
exactly. Yes,
um
ma'am.
and it's weird to have someone judge whether I'm serious about the music I make by how many likes get counted or how many reels I'm able to post, when you can still come see me and the mic is on and the music that challenges your spirit is still being heard.
Right.
Uh, it's hard when I go places and the fans who love my music in the thousands in various places don't know I'm coming.
Hmm. Right.
And I don't think that in this age, people, some of your most loved independent artists are struggling. Like they're at the food bank, some
Right.
of them.
Yeah.
And it's because, not because of you, but because these algorithms, these new platforms are not sustainable for each and every one of us. Although I keep doing my job because I'm gonna
Right.
evolve regardless, it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard
Yeah.
because I don't know if we'd have a Roberta Flack if she'd had to do this, or a
Right.
Stevie Wonder, or a Prince Rogers Nelson. I could absolutely see him as a 14-year-old looking at us like we were crazy and
Exactly.
becoming a gamer.
Yeah.
Like
You're absolutely right.
wow.
It's so spot on. You're right. Yeah.
So but
Yeah.
in that, I'm still also extremely inspired. But when I sit before God, I ask God to still my heart in the anxious moments that have to do with what it takes to sustain a household, to care for a family, and to keep me even in that focused on making art that edifies my people
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
time of unrest, and to stay focused on seeing myself in the future where all these other struggles I may experience from time to time are behind me in the rearview
Mm.
mirror. Because that's what everything I've ever manifested in my life has been about. I wasn't worried about where I was. I didn't even think if you had told me I'd sung background for Erica Badu, Lenny Kravitz, or one of my steer heroes for the spirit in which she applies herself in music, Madonna, Lotus Ciccone, I would have said to you, there's no way. I'm just a little black girl from DC who gets stuffed in a locker and thrown down the steps. There's no way
Right.
that could be me. My thanks is not just God, but I sing for that girl every
Mm.
time I get to that stage.
Okay.
I sing for the girl who is like her, who has never seen anyone who looks like me. Get up, put my crown on, and wear it for
Tightly.
her
Tightly.
tightly. I
Tightly.
don't let anybody tell me who I am, and I do that for them through the power of God, which sustains me, and that is my thanks every day.
You are like truly amazing. I mean, your voice notwithstanding, you are an amazing, defining, the very definition, the very personification of a queen. I want to thank you so much for sharing your words of wisdom, your smile, and your energy with us. Oh my God, we have to stay connected. And so that everybody else can stay connected, please let everybody know how they can reach you uh, via your website, which has all the information about your tour dates and your release dates, etc. And if you have any social media um, platforms that people can follow you on, please share that with us, please, sister.
Absolutely. This year, I am celebrating the 16th birthday of my project, one of my proudest, The Ballad of Miss Purple St. James.
Yes.
I'll be in Durham, North Carolina, October 10th during
Okay.
NCCU's homecoming, celebrating it'll be a grand quinceanera for my baby
Dope,
girl.
dope.
And I'll be there performing. I'll be performing with Big Daddy Kane, who I sit in
Nice.
with often. I love him so much for the platform he gives me to share my voice all the time. A freaking icon. Of course, the Crank Crusaders. I'm booking dates right now, but I've been kind of laying low as I complete this record, which I have been working on and do not want to piecemeal. And
Right.
I'm very excited about it, called The Body Aquatic. And it's about me being a late bloomer and what being a late bloomer brings. And I can't wait.
Mm,
And so I have a single coming up this summer called Building. And the hook asks you, are you building or complaining?
mm,
I think it's timely. Are you building or are you complaining? And one of the major producers from not Mama's Gonna, pardon me, from Badu is Madaku Chinwe is the producer of this track. It's an incredible piece of music. I think it'll remind you of something you might hear Norman Connors do. It is a big orchestra song, and I get a chance to sing, sing,
and
sing.
that's what we want to
So
hear. Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. So that will be coming soon. You can find me on all DSPs. I'll be dropping my very first release, Hear Me, on the Even platform in July to celebrate cancers and my birthday,
I know
because that
that's
was
right.
my first baby. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I'm very excited. So you'll be able to get that on Even, and that's going to help me finish the mixing and mastering of this record so that I can then record all of this amazing live music for you guys when I'm in Durham. So if you want to see me also record a live album, you need to be getting your ticket for October
Right.
10th in Durham, North Carolina. Charter a bus, get a party van,
Right.
live
Walk.
recording. Walk, do not run.
Walk.
It's
Yes.
our Heritage Center. Get your tickets
Yes.
and get my projects now. This is how you support the people that you love and come see us in shows. I also, when
Yes.
you go on my Instagram page, I have what is a Partyful app. If you join that, you'll be a part of my mobile team, my mobile E team. And you'll know whenever I'm performing, whomever I'm
Nice.
performing with, if I put a new release out. Sometimes I put exclusives on there, all types of freebies. I'm working to create a culture and a community with you.
The
So join
community.
me on
Yes.
those things.
Yes.
Instagram, TikTok, all of the above, YouTube. Share. Do not take for granted that I've got a team. Let people hear your voice. Tell them that you love me.
And we do. Thank
Think
you
that I love
so
you like that.
much. Thank you so much for all of your just for sharing your energy on our platform.
Thank
It's
you.
I'm gonna be honest. I've interviewed a lot of people in my life. You're a phenomenal sister who's given me the opportunity to just listen, absorb, and embrace true talent, a true visionary, and a true sister. I appreciate that. I thank you for what you've given myself
Thank you.
and the Intrigue Magazine audience. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank
Tell
you.
Raheem we said hello,
I will.
and we're gonna definitely keep up with you, sister. Absolutely, positively
Definitely.
promise to do so. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much. Big love to everybody. Oh, and
Thank you.
shouts out to Christi with an I for putting us together today. That's my publicist. I have to shout her out. And if I didn't, I would feel horrible all day. So
Yeah,
thank
we
you,
love
Christi.
Christy. We
Yes, we
love
love
Christy.
Christi.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Thank you so much, and
Thank you,
keep
love.
shining.
You too, baby. Bye.
Thanks.